Hello. When you own an EV, you get used to so many negative stories in the press, media and on the internet. And most of the time I ignore them, but every now and again one catches my eye and I need to take a look at it. Hi folks, my name's Nigel. Really do hope you can subscribe and like. So I came across this one from Tech Magazine, and it says why the electric car might not be the best choice, 20 reasons. So here are the 20 reasons not to buy an electric car in 2024. Number one is limited range. Well, this is something that, a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, there were quite a few electric cars that struggled to do 100 miles. And even quite recently, the Mini was just doing over, it wasn't doing 200 miles. I looked at it, I would have loved to have bought in the UK, but it just didn't have the range. Lovely looking car, so I didn't buy one. Nowadays, even my Tesla, which is a few years old now, and they've increased the range. It's the standard range. It's supposed to do about 250, 260 miles. I will always get in excess of 200 no matter what the weather. Even driving through Aviemore once at 2 in the morning at -10 at Christmas a few years ago. So look, 70 miles an hour on a motorway, 3 hours driving. As if you can do 70. Where can you do 70 on a motorway? You just can't, can you? So 3 hours, I'm ready to stop after two and a bit, and I always was. As a younger man, when I was a rep, I had to stop to make notes, phone people and do things. There was regular stops. It's no different now. You might say I'm old, I've got to stop every hour or so. I don't. Every couple of hours, ready to stop. The range is fine. I don't really think that is a concern. And you can get them that do 300 if that's what you want. 300, 350 miles. Number two is charging infrastructure. Well, with the Tesla, that's one of the best things about it, is that they're everywhere, whether you're in the UK, Scotland, Wales, Portugal, Spain, France, wherever you go. And driven across Spain, Portugal, England, Cornwall to Scotland many times. I don't believe that that is a problem with the Tesla. Number four, higher upfront costs. Yeah, I'll give them that one. They are dearer. They're coming down a lot. When I bought mine, you couldn't really buy a used one for much less. So I did buy a new car, the only new car I've ever had apart from company cars, and now they cost a lot less. Of course, now there will be another reason not to buy one, is because of depreciation, but that only works if you sell it. If you buy one for brand new and sell it a year later, you're going to use a lot. You always did. BMWs, Mercedes, all cars lost a lot in that first year, so it's really no different to any other car. Battery degradation, I'm surprised that's even here, because there's so much evidence of cars doing 400,000 or 500,000 miles. I've worked out the percentage of mine, and I will be getting probably 400,000 miles, and the car will be going a lot longer than I will. That is for sure. Limited model availability. Well, there's huge amounts of SUVs. And a certain amount of the smaller saloon cars. So I really don't know why that's there. Resale value, number 7. Well, it's no worse, as I've said a minute ago, no worse than any other car. You'll always find extremes. You can find extremes of the guy who drives his Porsche. He says it's now who gets way more views than I'll ever get. And he says his is worthless. It's, well, don't buy a Porsche then, And it always annoys me when people say, don't buy an EV. Yeah, but which one have you got? And invariably, it will be a Porsche, Mercedes, BMW, one of those. So, yeah, towing and hauling limitations, honestly don't know. I've had some conversations with people here about towing, and so I don't know. I had, when I did tow many years ago with a Vauxhall Cavalier caravan, I couldn't really get much above 40, 45 miles an hour in it, and it halved my miles per gallon. So I don't know. I'll have to rely on someone else to say that. I do know at Exeter, which is kind of a gateway in the UK to Devon, Cornwall, you can drive straight into a Tesla supercharger and charge. You'll take up 2 spaces, but they've got over 30 in total there. Not all of them are for charging with a trailer, but they are trying to adapt to that sort of thing. Number 10. Limited repair options. Well, yeah, things are changing with cars, aren't they? You know, a smart repair place will think, oh, there's a few electric cars around here, I better look into that, I better get trained. As things have changed. My first Ford Anglia didn't have computers or anything. It was very basic, a very basic 4-stroke engine, and things have changed since then, haven't they? Energy source concerns. This one always makes me laugh. I can see from where I am now lots and lots of wind turbines, and if you source your electricity from coal, and the UK doesn't, I'm glad to say, and most of Europe doesn't, and most of North America doesn't, and Canada, you have a concern. But that's a concern, isn't it? It's not a fact. I'm not seeing many facts here. Number 12, long-term reliability. Well, I referred to those Teslas are doing 450, 500,000 miles. They're doing large amounts of miles, so I don't know where the evidence comes from that. 13 on the list is infrastructure for home charging. Well, more than half the population can charge at home, and for the ones that can't, in apartments, flats, owners of flats are going to say, well, you know what, let's put in charge units. It will make my apartment look more appealing. And there's also government grants, places of work, there are government grants for charging, and councils are putting in charging units on street lights. So talk to your employer, talk to your landlord, talk to the council if you can't charge at home, and that's improving day by day. So electricity costs, well, electric costs a lot less than fuel from this car. It's always changing, I know. It's just gone down quite a lot, actually. I can charge for at least 1/8 the cost of petrol, diesel or gas, charging in the early hours of the morning. Tesla superchargers around about half the price of fuel in the gas station. And of course people always say, yeah, that's all very well, but where you'll lose on depreciation or costs or insurance and all the other things. As if people just don't like the thought that you're happy with something you've bought. The only reason I do these is because I hear so many lies, and I'm sorry, and that aren't fact-based. So anyway, go on to insurance rates. Done videos on that, on most all of these things actually. Number 15, if you're 18 and buy a performance Tesla, what do you expect? With a few points, what do you expect? You know, shop around to get the best deal. That's all you can do. Insurance companies will always do whatever they can to make more money. At 9/11, I had a cafe in Cornwall. My insurance went up. I said, what's this got to do with night? And they said, it was because of 9/11. Well, why? Why is that? I'm in Cornwall. Wow, you know, oh, yes. And that's what they do. So what can you do, insurance companies? Weight and handling. Well, you know, SUV, yes, they're heavier. But an SUV, there's lots of SUVs heavier than my Tesla Saloon or sedan, and the type of car is the problem. The SUV is the problem, not the electric car. If the Tesla ever make a Model 2, I would love to get my hands on one, but it depends on what the depreciation is on this. If it had come out a few years ago, definitely would have got it. This is a bit too big for me. It's a small car in the US. Here it's big car. But anyway, I don't, you know, they're blaming electric cars, and it's the type of car, the big SUV, the ridiculous tank that you see in so many cities driving the kids to school. I think that's limited long distance travel. Well, like I said, driven from Cornwall to Scotland, the very top of Scotland actually, to Orkney, top of Spain, down to Portugal, Wales, you name it. No, I don't think so if you have a Tesla. I must admit, I did use some of the other chargers, some of the Mayo Charge card in Spain. It was way cheaper than the UK, and I didn't find any problems. But it was so much easier with the Tesla superchargers, where it knows who you are and you just plug in. Battery recycling and disposal. Well, I don't think they've done much research on this. This is number 18, because it's far easier to recycle the battery at the end of its life than it is to source new materials. And a lot of people are making a lot of money, and why not? They're not going to landfill. And I think this, really, this article really should have looked at some of the facts first. Grid dependency, again, lots of people in the UK from the grid have said we're adapting, we're changing, and our job is to sell electricity. That's what we're going to do. Only recently, last week, with the change of government, they've now said that you can have wind turbines on land subject to planning permission, whereas the Tories said you couldn't. More solar power becomes available, and there'll be people who say, oh yeah, well, the sun doesn't always shine and wind doesn't always blow, and that's why we have things called batteries. It seems that whatever you say about electric cars, there are people giving you 10 reasons why that's not true without any facts. So yeah. And then number 20 on the list is technical changes. Due to the high level of technical breakthroughs developing the electric automotive, it is possible that the current mode as best could become obsolete in the near future. Well, with the Tesla, you get the software updates every month. So the car I've now got is not the car I bought, and that will go on every year. It doesn't suddenly stop. Lots of features here, which are improvements that. So it continues to develop, and that's one of the nice things about Tesla. I've no idea about Mercedes, BMW, what they do. I don't know, and I don't really care.
These are terrible.
I don't know, and I don't really care, and I don't talk about those cars. These facts I've given you today are all about the Tesla Model 3, which I'm very happy with. Sometimes I'm called a Tesla fanboy. I don't care. I would have thought it was more Tesla granddad fanboy. Whatever, I don't care. Anyway, these are my views and opinions. I think they are based on a lot of facts. Happy to back up a lot of this information with facts. It is available. So what they say in their conclusion, as fascinating as electric cars sound, it is crucial to consider the fact that no technology is without its demerits. All these 20 factors should be taken into account when deciding what car is best suited for you, including whether an electric vehicle is suitable at all. That is why educating yourself on both ends of the bell curve of benefits and inconveniences of learning the new language can help to make a better informed decision based on one's lifestyle and needs. Okay, very good. So I would, if you're thinking of buying an electric car, I would say it's the best thing I've ever done. You've obviously got to consider what your budget is, and if you can charge at home and all these things. But I don't regret it. This is my experience. 2.5 years, done 20,000 miles, driven all over the UK, Spain, Portugal. What we haven't mentioned is how brilliant a Tesla Model 3 is to drive. I really do love it. If I was buying it now, I would probably buy one used, probably between 15 and 18,000, which would be twice the price of any other car I've ever bought, probably 3 times. That's what I would do, and then you start saving on the electricity by getting a nighttime rate. Yes, before you do that, check your insurance just to see, because if you're 18, 19, probably not the best thing to do. But if you're a little bit older, then check your insurance before you do that. And hey ho, I don't think you'll look back. But that's just my opinion. Thanks very much for watching. I did get a comment about reusable coffee mugs, and the reason I say don't forget to take them with you is that the problem with those single-use coffee cups is they're paper lined with plastic inside, and they can't be recycled. A plastic bottle can, but so many billions every year of the paper cups used for coffee can't be recycled, and they end up in landfill. And if you take one of these into any of the main coffee shops, you will get a discount, so it will soon pay for itself. This one is metal. You can get them made of bamboo. To be honest, even a plastic one that was used perhaps for 2 or 3 years is going to get a huge amount of use. But yeah, metal, bamboo, there's lots available, and they come with lids. the lids as well. Yeah, anyway, that's my take on things. Thanks very much, and I'll see you next time. Drive safely. Bye.